What's wrong with Rachel Dolezal? Something's got to be wrong with her, right? Why would she leave her privileged position as a white woman and not only become a black woman, but take on the role as the chapter president of the NAACP in Washington State? What's wrong with her? You know what? I feel like this is like cultural appropriation to the next level. Like, if there's levels to it, she's up there. She's up there. And what's crazy to me, I mean, I guess I get it. I get it. It's gonna take a long time for people to really understand cultural appropriation. That's from my experience. I've realized it's gonna take a long time for people to really get it. And I'm not gonna just say white people, because a lot of white people do get it and are respectful, but a lot of black people don't get it and aren't respectful. So I'm gonna just say people. A lot of people aren't gonna really get it, because at the end of the day, it hasn't been trendy to be a minority forever throughout history. That hasn't been the case. Well, in subtle ways, definitely, always, but outwardly, not so much. So it's gonna take a while. Plus, a lot of times people just don't like to be told what to do and what they can't do and what they can do. So once people finally decide to, you know, put their own selfish needs and selfish pride aside, then maybe we'll get somewhere when it comes to cultural appropriation and respecting people's cultures, you know. But until then, we're gonna just be dealing with a whole bunch of foolishness. She definitely reached one of the highest points of cultural appropriation. And how was she able to do that? How was that even possible? How was she able to live for however many years as a black woman? The thing with, I'm a little torn, because the thing with being like a mixed child, a biracial person, you can come out looking all kinds of ways. Like 3/4 white, 1/4 black, you're gonna look more white than anything. Like if you're walking down the street and you're 3/4 white and 1/4 black, most likely you're gonna look pretty white, and nobody would even question that you are mixed with anything, with any minority. Usually, that's usually the case. Not always the case though. Look at Amber Rose, for instance. I believe she's a quarter white. I mean, a quarter black. But she has a lot of black features going on. So if someone tells you they're a quarter black, you know, and they look white, you would probably just be like, oh, okay. Like you would, like, who are you to tell them that they're not, you know? But at the same time, being a quarter black, being someone who looks white passing, your experience as a black person is not at all comparable to someone who's brown, someone who clearly looks like they, you know, have black blood or any other minority blood. So that being said, for Rachel to choose to be a a mixed light-skinned woman, that, I think that says a lot. That says that she didn't want to get rid of all of her privilege. First of all, a lot of people don't really want to acknowledge light skin privilege. It's called colorism. Google that. Google colorism and then come back to this video if you don't really understand light skin privilege. But no one can tell me that colorism does not exist. By the way, colorism is basically discrimination and prejudice based on your skin color, like your skin tone, like as in light skin versus dark skin. Get it? And after what's going on right now in the Dominican Republic, you can't tell me that colorism does not exist. Okay? For those of you who don't know, they are literally going around, in a nutshell, they're literally going around finding people who look like they're of Haitian descent as opposed to Dominican descent, and they are deporting you? How does one look like they're Haitian descent, and how does one look like they're Dominican descent? How do you really determine that? At the end of the day, people from Haiti and people from Dominican Republic all have African blood. So what is it really? At that point, is light skin privilege. That's what's going on in the Dominican Republic right now, and that's also what goes on in the NAACP. The NAACP loves to include lighter skinned people, and I think that's probably one of the main reasons why Rachel was able to, perpetrate for as long as she did, because NAACP probably said, wow, we got this black woman who's really light, who has a lot of white features, but she's still black. You see, she still got a little orange in her skin. She got a little kink in her weave. She's wearing box braids. She looks black enough. So yeah, so we'll put her as the president of Washington chapter. We'll do that for her because she's a good representation, because she's got the look. That's colorism. So I see how she was able to do it for so long. Especially since from what I've heard, she didn't have the best relationship with her family, so that's how she was able to do for so long. For whatever reason, her family outed her finally. I'm not too concerned about that. People want to figure out, what would make her do that? A lot of times people are just so concerned about the psychology of somebody, especially when they look like Rachel Dolezal, okay? Because when a black person does a crime, when a black person, is a murderer or a thief or a drug dealer or whatever situation, when a black person does it, black people, we're just looked at as, of course they would do that, they're lesser. But when it's a white person who does it, were they abused as a child? What sort of situation did they have growing up? Man, they must have been bullied, sexually assaulted and harassed. They probably grew up poor. They probably grew up around the blacks. You know what I mean? And I think it's absolutely ridiculous that people are like walking around trying to say, Rachel Dolezal, she's probably transracial. Since when is transracial a thing? First of all, okay?